Sorry. Welcome everybody. We're here to talk about our project on Walmart. We focused on their transportation and logistics sector, most specifically their East Transportation Command Center located right here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm joined by Victoria and Logan. My name's Billy and we're going to get you started. So this just shows you some key information about Walmart. They're a massive company, which we'll get into later. I'm sure everyone here is aware of them. They have over 2 million employees. They do over $500 billion in revenue per year. They were founded about 60 years ago, and they're headquartered right here in the USA in Arkansas. So as I said, in 1962, Walmart opened their first store in Rogers, Arkansas. 7 years later, they formed Walmart Stores Incorporated. You'll notice that there's a hyphen in the name there. That goes away later. In 1972, Walmart opened their first distribution center and established their home office again in Arkansas. So you go later in the 1970s, they opened their first pharmacy and they established their charitable foundation. So the 80s is when Walmart starts to really transform and become the power that we know it to be today. That starts in 1983. They opened their first Sam's Club location. Sam's Club is a bulk discount retailer, very similar to like a BJ's Wholesale or a Costco. And they have an annual subscription fee, and then you get discounts when you buy items in bulk. Another key development in the 1980s, in 1987, Walmart formed the largest private satellite communication system. So this connected all their operations through voice data and video. And just developments like this show that Walmart has been on the cutting edge of logistics since their founding, and that's one of their key success drivers today. Right here I have a picture of the very first Walmart location. Just thought it would be interesting to show, the humble beginnings of a now enormous company. Speaking of enormous, we have the first Walmart Supercenter location opening in 1988, and then by 1990, Walmart has taken the title as the largest retailer in the United States. The theme of the 1990s was international expansion. Walmart began doing that with a joint venture called Cifra that brought their first store to Mexico City, and then further Mexican stores came on from there. In 1993, Walmart had their first $1 billion sales week. I thought this was especially interesting because in 1980, Walmart did $1 billion for the entire year. In the mid-90s, Walmart continues to expand internationally, with over 120 stores in Canada that they acquired from a company called Woolco, and then they also opened their first Chinese location. You flash forward to the new millennia, Walmart.com was founded, and by 2002, Walmart topped the Fortune 500 as the most valuable American company. In the 2010s, Walmart expanded their guaranteed hiring for U.S. veterans and people with disabilities. And then they also did a few major things in the later part of the decade. In 2016, they opened the Culinary Innovation Center in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is also where their headquarters is. This here is to tinker with and create new innovative products, especially in the food space. And then another thing, Walmart established their first training academy in South Carolina with the goal of one day having 200 of these academies worldwide. And then finally, the biggest development we thought of the 2010s was Walmart beginning to offer free 2-day shipping to customers. This is likely in response to Amazon Prime, and it shows a major strategic shift to e-commerce. And then I have a video that is a touch outdated, but I think it does an excellent job of giving you a visual of Walmart's logistics and fulfillment stream. And so here we go.
Walmart uniquely combines digital and physical assets in a one-of-a-kind fulfillment network to reach the customer more quickly and affordably.
Our fulfillment centers are strategically located throughout the country based on customer demand. Just in terms of SKUs, one facility that we're building, just this building alone, will have 5 times the SKU storage capacity that our entire network had just a year ago.
We've invested a significant amount to put a lot of outbound processing horsepower within these facilities and minimize our labor costs to reduce the amount of time it takes to get those orders to a customer.
These large-scale e-commerce fulfillment centers combine with existing e-commerce facilities all over the country, Plus, over 80 Walmart retail locations are set up to ship directly from store.
A customer's order comes in, an associate picks the items from the shelves of the store and ships the order directly from the retail location.
Add that to 4,500 store locations that can be used as pickup points for orders, and you see the total picture of a dense, interconnected network that allows Walmart to get closer to the customer.
Walmart's transportation fleet is one of the most efficient operations in the world. All of these pieces, the centers, the stores, the fleet, work together to give customers more choice in how they receive their order, faster service, and lower cost.
There is no other company with a network like this.
Walmart is doing what only Walmart can do. Walmart, e-commerce fulfillment unlike anyone else.
All right, so now I'm going to pass it off to Victoria, who's going to talk about the ETCC, the current state, and a few other things.
Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about Walmart's transportation and logistics system. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on how it works. So how it started. So back in the day, buying at Walmart was much more decentralized. Deliveries were mostly made by whoever could get the merchandise to the store. Until 1970, when Walmart created their own distribution centers and private food trucks. Walmart's distribution centers are one of the largest in the world. They own a fleet of over 6,500 tractors, 55,000 trailers, and 70,000 drivers. 7,000 drivers. And they also move goods from their distribution centers to the shelves. They do this by utilizing their in-house logistics and private fleet drivers. Walmart's transportation logistics centers map out the most efficient routes for drivers that plan their routes to save something called density miles, which helps reduce transportation costs. Okay, so next slide. So Walmart's in-house logistics hub is the East Transportation Command Center. This is who handles all of our transportation operations. They have two transportation operation centers. They have the East Transportation Command Center, and then they have the Central Transportation Command Center. So the East Transportation Command Center is what we observe, and they support Walmart's highly automated distribution centers, which operate 24 hours a day and are served by Walmart's truck fleet. They manage over 40 regional distribution centers that handle the inbound and outbound transportation process. The ETC is Walmart's competitive advantage. Really, it's the foundation of their growth strategy and supply network. They are trying to take in millions of orders from customers every year. So every East Transportation Command Center, they have several different kinds of employees. Some are operation managers, we have general managers, assistant general managers, HR, customer service, and the logistics managers. And they overall they are in charge of overseeing the implementation of the business plans for the facilities to achieve their operational improvement goals. They ensure that the associates and the customers and supplier concerns are resolved by investigating and making decisions based on facts and situations while consulting with other members of the team. They monitor compliance with logistics and company quality and safety standards, policies, and procedures. And they also manage financial aspects of the facility that improving the tracking expenses compared to budget, monitoring asset utilization, and preparing, reviewing, and analyzing business reports. So I'm going to give you a current state of one of the issues that the East Transportation Command Center is having right now. And we started by, we wanted to see how we can improve the on-time delivery process. Something that they do to increase the on-time delivery process is by coding the accurate reasons behind missed deliveries. So this process has three sets of people involved in it. We have the logistics managers, we have IT systems, and we have the upper management. So upper management, this starts the process by creating, the data that's needed to help the logistics managers coordinate from their reasons behind these deliveries. And once they, gather that data, they send it to IT, which uploads that data into the WTMS software program to ensure that to help the associates have everything, all the data they need to code that again. So the associates gather will pull together the list of these deliveries by the end of the day, and then they go on to review the playbook that upper management created, and they use that to guide them through comparing the research and the reason behind these deliveries, and they begin coding what they believe is the correct reason behind these deliveries. So next slide. And we observed the process, and we realized that the associates were, having a difficult time coding the right reasons behind this delivery. And while observing the process, we noticed some defects. And one of the defects was poor communication, time constraints, outdated paid guide, learning the use of the software, and a hostile work environment, which all these factors made it difficult for them to achieve their goal of 99% accuracy, coding accuracy one. And I'm going to pass it to William to talk more about some of the tools and methods we use to help solve this problem.
Thanks, Victoria. As she mentioned, one of the key tools that we had was direct observation. It also was, very convenient for us that Victoria works at the ETCC. And then for some of our other tools and methods, we have the Ishikawa diagram, which is in the following slide. I'll be explaining that. We also have a swim lane, which you already saw already, showing the current state, and we'll have the future state later on explained by Logan. Logan's also going to talk about the 5 whys and how we use that in our process. And then another, key tool was the surveys and interviews. We had really good access due to Victoria, and we were able to talk to some of our coworkers that gave us some really good feedback. And then the last concept we wanted to highlight is Yokoten, which basically, which means horizontal deployment. And, it's basically saying that when you see a problem, you don't just pass it off and think that it's someone else's problem. You notify right away. Everyone in the organization is looking to make improvements, and we think, that's key to any successful company. So as we were saying before, the Ishikawa diagram, we use this to break down, some of the cause and effect for what's going on, and then into its individual parts. We identified equipment, process, people, materials, environment, and management as the 6 key branches of our diagram, and then each with their own problems. So for the equipment, it's really the software. It's, it lags, and then inaccurate data can also be a major problem in the WTMS software. And then in the process, there's no feedback loop if the code is unavailable. So, it really trips up the system if it doesn't have the right code in the playbook, and we'll get to that more in a little bit. For people, lack of communication and inadequate training is really leading to a lot of these problems. So, despite the playbook, employees need to be, trained better, and, that falls on management. For the materials, as we said, the playbook is outdated and, and sometimes illegible, whether the playbook has become damaged or just its original design wasn't designed for readability and ease of use for the employees, and it definitely needs an overhaul. So we move on to environment. The time pressure with Walmart's business model, the 99% accuracy mark, and just the volume and the velocity in which orders are coming in lead to a lot of time pressure. And then you kind of combine that time pressure and then the lack of communication and training, and you're left with frustrated associates and a hostile environment all around. And then part of the reason for all this is the top-down structure of the management. We think they would be in their best interest to delegate more power to rank and file employees, managers, and middle management instead of just keeping it all in the hands of upper management. So now I'm going to pass it off to Logan, and he's going to take you the rest of the way through.
Thanks, Billy. So we utilized the 5 whys diagram to determine the root cause of the problem we were observing, which was associates code inaccurate reasons behind this deliveries. So the first problem we realized was that there seemed to be an adequate coding training. Next, we determine the list of routine and associates consulting an outdated playbook guide for product and upgrade management. Then they determine that the playbook guide was outdated due to a lack of communication from our management to the associates coding list deliveries. The next, we're raising that this lack of communication was a result of that top-down management approach that really touched on each power diagram. And finally, we're at the cause of our problem, which was going to be time constraints. And that managers were coding incorrectly due to a fast-paced work environment that allowed little time for appropriate feedback from our management. So we decided the most appropriate solution would be to develop an updated comprehensive playbook guide for all logistics managers. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the future state of the ETCC. We probably mentioned the current state of the ETCC earlier, and here's the future state. You can see the adjustments that we made in red. I'll go ahead and walk you through the diagram one more time. So, start the process of management, creating an external playbook guide for training associates. Next, the IT systems team develops a software program called ETCC to support that playbook created by upper management. Upper management then reviews the software program to determine whether or not it's adequate. If the program is determined to be inadequate, upper management goes back to the IT system team so they can make necessary adjustments until the software is adequate. Once the software is determined to be adequate, upper management is associated with it, we use the software to gather less than this delivery at the end of the workday. So they then review the playbook for upper management and compare research reasons for this deliveries. If there's enough data in the playbook for associates that are delivering these deliveries, they can go ahead and code the appropriate reason into the WTMS software for that delivery. If there's not enough data in the playbook to accurately code this delivery, the associates need to communicate with upper management to receive clarification on the issue that they are experiencing. After consulting with associates, upper management should then make necessary updates to the playbook and recirculate the updated version to all associates. And once these associates receive that updated version of the playbook, they can then go ahead and code the appropriate reasons for this delivery into the WTMS software. So, in conclusion, we determined that at the levels of success, the competitive industry governed on levels of collaboration. So long as the top 400 company in the world maintains its position, is it possible without high collaboration and continuous improvements to learn better other companies in the industry such as Amazon? Next, the eliminate open accuracy goal is a very lofty goal. The ETCC's mission can't just be this one, we need to find ways to maintain it. Being the biggest player in the retail industry, we want to pass to high standards. And this is another reason that continual improvement is so important because reaching and maintaining such high goals is very challenging. Further, continuous communication is important for continual improvements. Like we talked about in the future state, upper management, IT systems, and coding associates are heavily required. Coding associates can communicate with IT systems and experience software issues such as lags so that IT systems can go ahead and remedy these issues as quickly as possible so associates can do their job and be more efficient. Upper management communicate with coding associates when they're towards their accuracy goal in 99% seconds so that the process can be improved. And upper management also needs to work with coding associates and IT systems to make changes to the WTMS software and the playbook guide when necessary. So finally, we decided that an implementation of the continuous improvement model could be beneficial for preventing ETCC from experiencing similar issues down the road. And this model could incorporate starts with planning. So the ETCC currently has a plan in place to update the playbook used by the coding associates, and the next step is to do. And in this step of the process, they need to actually get the playbook updated and distributed to their coding associates. Then they should check that playbook that involves upper management communicating with coding associates to make sure that they understand the playbook and that all necessary updates are being made. And then the last step, if associates are running into issues, action can be taken by upper management and IT systems to correct these issues, and the cycle repeats itself. So we believe that the ETCC, is on the right track as long as they stay dedicated to their goal and implement continuous improvement models. We believe that they will be successful in correcting, reaching, and maintaining the high coding accuracy target that they set themselves. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.